The final chapter of many ancient civilizations unfolded in different ways. Despite the efforts of archaeologists and historians, the reasons behind the fall of some civilizations remain a mystery. Here are 5 famous civilizations whose collapse is still unexplained. 1. The Maya Civilization. The Maya civilization is considered one of the most advanced civilizations of the pre-Columbian Americas. They left behind many impressive ruins, vast stone cities in the jungles of southern Mexico and Central America, complete cities with palaces, pyramid temples, plazas, and even ball courts. They had their own hieroglyphic-like writing system and calendar, and excelled in mathematics, astronomy, and architecture. Their civilization reached its peak between 250 and 900 AD. One of history's greatest mysteries begins here. The people started to revolt against the kings and abandon their cities. But no one knows exactly why. Several theories have been proposed to explain what happened. One suggests that a drought, exacerbated by soil erosion and deforestation, led to migration. Other theories propose the outbreak of disease, a peasant revolt against the increasing corruption of the ruling class, civil war, or the collapse of trade routes connecting the Maya cities. The true reason might be a combination of several of these factors. Despite their collapse, the Maya civilization did not completely disappear, and millions of their descendants still speak the same language and live in the same regions today. 2. The Indus Valley Civilization. The Indus Valley Civilization, also known as the Harappan Civilization, was established about 8,000 years ago in the region now occupied by India and Pakistan, making it one of the oldest civilizations in the world. By the 3rd millennium BCE, the Indus people occupied approximately 621,000 square kilometers of land, a larger area than contemporary civilizations such as ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia. Their population represented about 10% of the world's population at that time. The Indus people developed their own symbols, which remain undeciphered to this day, and their cities featured sophisticated drainage systems, rivaled only by those of the Roman Empire. The Indus Valley Civilization began to decline around 1900 BCE, with people migrating to southeastern cities. Scholars once believed that invading Aryan tribes from the north were responsible for their decline, but this theory has lost favor. Other theories suggest that the cessation of monsoon rains for nearly 2 centuries made agriculture impossible, along with potential earthquakes, or the spread of diseases such as malaria and cholera. 3. Easter Island. Between 300 and 1200 AD, some Polynesians, a group of islands in the South Pacific, reached one of the most remote places on Earth. Easter Island, located about 3,700 kilometers west of Chile. Despite not having wheels, beasts of burden, or cranes, they constructed hundreds of massive stone statues known as moai. The tallest of these statues stands nearly 10 meters tall and weighs 82 tons, while an unfinished one, known as El Gigante, the Giant, measures about 22 meters and weighs 145 tons. By the 18th century, construction of the moai had ceased, and the population began to decline. With all political and religious leadership being overthrown, soil analysis revealed that the islanders had deforested the entire island, and rats had eaten the tree seeds, preventing regrowth. This led to a catastrophic situation where new boats could not be built for trade, and the islanders resorted to burning grass for fuel, possibly resulting in famine and civil war. The arrival of Europeans in 1722 exacerbated their plight, as they brought diseases such as smallpox and introduced the slave trade, reducing the native population to around 100 individuals. 4. Viking Greenland. According to Icelandic sagas, Eric the Red led a fleet of 25 ships to colonize Greenland in 985 AD, after being temporarily exiled for committing murder. The Vikings established 2 colonies, a larger eastern colony and a smaller western one. They raised cattle, sheep, and goats, hunted caribou and seals, and built stone churches whose ruins are still visible today. At its peak, the Viking population in Greenland was about 5,000 people. But when a missionary expedition arrived in 1721 to convert them to Protestantism, they found only their remnants. Archaeologists later discovered that the western colony had fallen by the late 14th century, while the eastern colony persisted for several more decades. The likely reason for their decline was the Little Ice Age of the 14th century, which froze the sea routes used for travel, causing the collapse of their primary trade market based on walrus ivory. Some scholars believe that the remaining inhabitants returned to Iceland or Scandinavia, while others think they died of starvation, succumbed to the Black Death, or were exterminated by the Inuit, who arrived in Greenland from Canada in the late 12th century. 5. The Anasazi. The Anasazi, or ancestral Puebloans, emerged in the area now known as the Four Corners region of the United States, where they built impressive cliffside dwellings between the 12th and 13th centuries. Some of these structures contained hundreds of rooms and remained the tallest buildings in the United States until the construction of the first skyscraper in 1884. The end of the Anasazi was marked by violent events, including massacres and instances of cannibalism. Evidence suggests deforestation, water management issues, and prolonged droughts played significant roles in the violence that ensued. Religious and political upheavals, similar to those in Europe, likely hastened their departure to the south around 1300 AD. Today, many descendants of the Anasazi, such as the Hopi and Zuni, still exist, though they consider the term Anasazi derogatory and prefer the title ancestral Puebloans. While the problems faced by ancient civilizations might seem trivial compared to today's challenges, they were no less significant. Ancient civilizations collapsed due to diseases, deforestation, and fires, while our civilization possessed heavy weaponry and nuclear bombs. Future civilizations may look at the remnants we leave behind and wonder, how did they disappear?